Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, I will be collaborating this week as I record and post this week with Nico from Scarlet Moon. I'm so excited about this. We'll be talking about the conjunction. There'll be a live Q&A. We're going to be talking astrology. There might even be a few card pulls. If you are one of my members, you will get this for free. If you are on Nico's Patreon subscription, you will get this for free. If not, but you want to be there, you can hit the links in the description box below. With that said, I would like to bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's have a look, see what the week ahead has in store for you. When I went into my intuition this week, like, look at this brilliant sunlight. It's so cold here today though. And this view, like, right. Okay, I'm blind. Right, when I went into my intuition for you this week, funnily enough, actually, what I saw was something very similar to this light, but it was like I couldn't actually see what was moving, but it was going and it was changing shapes and just going to different places. And the message that I heard was, be ready to move. Like, whatever that means to you, Libra, this week, wherever it is, whether it's on a job, whether it's a move of a house, whether it's with a partner, whether it is, you know, you need to be ready to move. So you've got to be on your toes this week. You've got to be on the ball. You've got to be on the lookout. Whatever that means to you this week, be ready to move. You've got to be flexible. You've got to be nimble. Ultimately, you're an air sign. So, you know, that kind of, sorry, that's upside down. Ultimately, you're an air sign, right? So doing things, you know, quickly and being able to move or go with the flow comes naturally to you. You're going to really need that this week. Your destiny card for the week ahead is the Emperor, your direct opposite in the zodiac, right? So the Emperor represents being an authority. It represents authority figures. This may be something that really comes to the fore in your lifescape this week. The fact that it says be ready to move, this means that your action needs to be decisive and it needs to be swift. The thing about the Emperor, yes, he deliberates on things, he takes on board everybody's opinion or their bit of advice that they want to give him, but his understanding is that the decision, the final say, is always his. He is ready to move swiftly when needs be. The fact that you've got this as your destiny card, you may be called this week to make a final decision or to make a judgment of some sort, and this week you're going to have to be able to do it. You need to be ready to move. So when you're called upon this week, for whatever that might be, oh, okay, your direction card has jumped out. So when you're called to action this week, yeah, and you got the Five of Swords. This week, when I say be ready to move, it may very well be that somebody needs, it might be that there's not a decision, it might be that there's a conversation that needs to be had this week. It might be a tough conversation because you've got the Five of Swords, which is always arguments, squabbles. Sometimes as well, when I see this card, I say to people, oh, that's interesting, just a second. I say to people, don't allow people to goad you into behaving in a way that isn't true to who you are. Now, what's really interesting is I've just looked at this card and he's got a peacock feather in his hat. There's a peacock in the distance. If you haven't seen the weekly general, check it out because the peacock was the message for this week. Represents vision, but it also represents regality, represents being authoritative, all of those things. So really interesting message for you guys, really interesting indeed. Your insight card for the week, and yeah, the other thing is a direction card. You know, the thing about the Emperor, like I said, this week you've got to be ready to move or ready to mete out some sort of justice. You might have to be the person that is the mouthpiece for the thing that everybody in the room is thinking. It might be left to you to say that thing that, you know, everyone else is kind of like, oh, you know, I want to say it or somebody should say it, and this week it might have to be you. It may fall on your shoulders in some way. Your insight card is the Queen of Pentacles. So this looks like it's either to do with your work or it's to do with a familial financial matter. Now, the Queen of Pentacles does suggest that it might be about budgets, it might be about who pays what or who doesn't pay what, as the case may be. You know, and this week you could really have to call somebody out on it. You might really have to voice an opinion that might not necessarily make you very comfortable, but it needs to be vocalized still. The fact that you've got the Queen of Pentacles means that you'll be able to find a way of doing so that is not only practical, but it makes sense to everybody. It kind of, the situation does have the potential to be quite inflammatory. I'll just put it out there and tell you the truth. But if you handle it like a true Libra can, it really does suggest you'll be able to move past it, and, you know, with etiquette and diplomacy. All right, those are buzzwords for your sign anyway. So utilize those natural skills to traverse a conversation that must be had. Right, you have to have this conversation, because otherwise you're going to keep getting this same experience. And it kind of feels like to me that you're already at the point where you're like, you know what, I'm not the one, and I'm also not here for it. Okay, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know if it's not too personal in the comments how it shapes up. Remember, this week you got to stand firm. All right, that's going to be the best way forward. Take care, and I'll see you soon.